Hello everyone and welcome back to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So, last time we played, we took on the Griffin contract in exchange for information on Yennefer's whereabouts. We successfully killed the Griffin and learned that Yennefer is in Vizima, the former Temerian capital, recently conquered by the Nilfgaardians. So we're going to get back together with Vesemir, get our stuff ready for the trip, and we're gonna ride to Vizima. And nothing bad will happen along the way because this is Witcher. It's a happy game. Nothing bad ever happens.
This bard's tale begins near White Orchard, with my dear friend Geralt of Rivia seeking his lover of yore, the sorceress Yennefer. She'd eluded him for years, but now seemed just a few steps ahead. After many trials and tribulations, Geralt finally learned that Yen was in nearby Vizima.
Alright. Let's see here. Do I have any? I don't have anything I can sell. Okay. Well, I've got that. Yeah, I think I might just sell the Griffin trophy because I don't really care about dismemberment all that much.
Greetings.
Hi, Floof. Welcome to stream.
Let me have a look at your stock.
Oh, you only have 6 gold. Okay. Can't afford that. Can't afford that. Can't afford that. Can't afford that. Can't afford those. Can't afford that. Can I at least afford these? Yes. Okay.
Take care.
Alright. So let's go ahead and get Vesemir and let know we're out of here. Bandit. 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 Peasant. This doesn't look good. Alright, well.
Yennefer's in Vizima. Got a few friends there, so... Something wrong?
Look around. Trouble brewing.
Who are they?
Who are they?
Patriots. Drinking their 7th round for Temeria. Fists starting to itch.
Hail
I don't see
Hydrate.
any Nilfgaardians.
They'll find another foe. I'll buy some provisions for the journey. Then we'll go. Geralt, we should stay out of it. Just this once.
Yeah! If the game actually lets me do that.
What happened to the lilies? Took him down.
Took him down to hang a golden sun there now.
I cannot show Temerian colours. They'll come and burn the tavern down.
Maybe it's true what they say. You fond of the Imperials? You Nilfgaard's whore?
More like she's just trying to run a
That
business.
part, I know grief eats at your heart.
No shit. They hanged my sister, dragged her out the cloister like a dog. Said Nilfgaard's no place for superstition, that they don't fear the wrath of the gods. And you, do you fear it? If not for Annie, your child would have choked on its navel string. You owe your son to my sister attending to the birth, and you don't fear the gods' wrath. You don't fear it, you cunt! Leave me be!
Recognize this medallion? You know what it means. Back off.
You all right?
They say witches steal young'uns. That true? What the Emperor promised you freaks? Your own land? Like he did the elves once?
Get out, all of you.
We ain't going nowhere.
Well, I don't think we're gonna be out of this one.
They won't back down now.
I can see that.
Probably shouldn't have cut off his head, but you know, whatever.
It's all right. It's over.
Leave me be! Get away!
See his face! God save us!
Be gone, and don't ever come back.
So much for not getting involved. Come on, let's go.
Did we at least get this provisions?
That brawl, we didn't start it.
Excuses, excuses. You've not changed a bit.
Yen? How?
I received a report about a witcher who'd appeared in White Orchard. I knew it was you, looking for me. I might have waited until you found me, but... well, you know me. Patience has never been my strong suit.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
It's good to see you, Geralt. I'd even embrace you. Were you not covered in blood?
Sorry. Wasn't expecting to see you. To be honest, this isn't at all how I imagined we'd meet.
How did you imagine it?
You didn't imagine you'd have a Nilfgaardian escort. Don't get me wrong, Yennefer. I'm glad to see you. But I do think you owe us an explanation.
And I
A
shall
little bit.
provide it. In Vizima. Ready your horses.
Why Vizima?
We can talk here. Some charming orchards nearby. In bloom even, so you almost can't smell the corpses.
A tempting proposition. Sadly, I must say no. You see, someone awaits you in Vizima. Someone who doesn't like to be kept waiting. Emperor Emir var Emrys. Or, to those on more intimate terms with him, the white flame dancing on the graves of his foes.
Great.
How'd I number among that group? Far as I remember, last time we saw each other, he wanted to kill me.
Well, now he wishes to make you an offer.
The kind one can't refuse.
I didn't, though I could have.
I suppose we can hear him out.
Fine. Guess I'm willing to hear him out.
The Emperor of Nilfgaard, Lord of Metina, Ebbing, and Gamera, Sovereign of Nazaire and Vicovaro will feel honored, I'm sure.
Big
What
streak.
about you?
I'm going in
My
the
big
opposite direction.
I didn't see your
I
big
somehow
streak
doubt the Emperor's invitation mentioned
because
me.
my Twitch
Besides, I've got things to do. at
chat
Kaer
hiccuped.
Morhen. Remember?
I just
Yeah,
had to
I
refresh
remember.
it.
Thanks for your help, Vesemir. See you
But I'm
soon.
sure it's like 60 by now. Or
How's
like
your
65.
horse? Swift?
Can't complain. Why do you ask?
I'd like to be back behind some thick city walls as soon as possible.
So long, Vesemir. Might want to wash your tunic there.
You know, I had a dream about you recently.
Knowing you, it was probably filthy.
Just the beginning. But then,
But then,
Oh, shit. Hi, Sly. Welcome to Strem. We're getting chased by, the devil. Well, not the devil. The elven devil. We already met the actual devil.
Yennefer, how'd they?
we shall talk of this tomorrow, all right? After the audience.
Vizima, capital of occupied Temeria. This is our first bath in probably months.
It must suffice.
Thinkamir cares if I'm clean.
The gentleman will refer to His Imperial Majesty by his full title or not at all. The gentleman will be seated on the bergère.
The what now?
In that chair. Cletwin, please shave the gentleman's sideburns to half an inch.
But I like my beard. Something wrong with my beard?
What's wrong with my beard? Always thought it added to my dignity.
It does. Yet it also detracts from your elegance. In Nilfgaard, we consider beards hard on the eyes. Especially beards infested with lice.
Been on the road a while. Fine, do your thing.
Tilt your head back, please, and sit still.
And here is when we will
to answer some questions.
simulate our Witcher 2
General,
save
I am
file.
not certain this is the appropriate time.
I can't think of a better time. Men turn honest when they feel a blade at their throat. Morvran Voris, commander of the Alba Division. Before they take you in to see the Emperor, Witcher, there's some information I need you to verify. It's a formality, but one that must be seen.
Alright, Sly.
Sure. Paperwork's gotta be
Danke
in
for
order.
lurk.
So, Geralt of Rivia. Place of birth unknown. Parents unknown. Age unknown. All insignificant details. Let us proceed to more recent events. The siege of La Valette Castle. The fate of the defending commander, one Arian.
Let's see here. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see what my guidebook says. I usually say I spared his life, but let's see here. Okay. Page 99. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say we saved him. Or, we spared his life.
We fought on opposing sides, true. Then we landed in the same dungeon. Arian escaped, set fire to the castle on his way out.
So that is how the Blade started. Our reports suggested the dragon was responsible. Moving on. You then found shelter in charming Flotsam, and from there made your way to Vergen. My question is how?
Got out of Flotsam with Vernon Roach.
I got out of Flotsam with Vernon Roach, commander of the Blue Stripes, and...
A murderer of non-humans. We know this gentleman well, Witcher. You forge interesting alliances.
Something tells me my most interesting is yet to come. Go on, next question, before my beard grows back in.
We shall shave you again if it does. Very well. The infamous summit at Loch Muin. You were there. And once again meddled in the affairs of the mighty.
Well, I had to save Triss.
The mighty had imprisoned Triss Marigold. Ought to know I care about her, and I tend to rescue those I care about.
And so you did, handing Radovid control of the Conclave and Council of Mages in the process.
Nilfgaard recently started a war, unprovoked. So do us both a favor and stop moralizing.
The gentleman must sit still. I'm almost done.
I'm afraid I might find that difficult. Because, from what I know, shortly afterwards you watched a defective megascope blow your friend Sheila de Tanserville to bits.
She escaped, actually.
I watched her get in the megascope, but ultimately freed her from the trap your man Letho of Gullet had set. Write that down. I want to be sure the paperwork's in order now.
Well, national interest calls on one to forge difficult alliances at times. Alliances with witches included.
Uh-huh. Alliance still alive? What happened to Letho?
That an ongoing alliance? What's Letho up to?
I had hoped you would answer that question.
Ah, so Letho's hiding from you. Must have a good reason. Was there a shift in national interest that might have caused that? I don't know where he is. Wouldn't tell you if I did anyway. Blade or no blade to my throat.
I believe that is all. Your signature, please, affirming you stated the whole truth and nothing but the truth on pain of imprisonment or death, etc., etc. Here and here.
With these formalities seen to, I would ask the General to leave the room. We shall be choosing the gentleman's attire. An important matter, but one that does not require the General's assistance.
Shame. I might have given you some advice. So long, Geralt. Good luck with your audience.
Yeah, my general rule of thumb when it comes to simulating the the Witcher 2 save is
Feels
just
more like I'm being readied for a wedding.
try not
So,
to say that
I
you
would
killed
have
anyone,
prepared the gentleman a frock, a tailcoat,
because
or
that just
possibly a dinner
adds to
jacket.
the
In point of fact,
experience
the gentleman
if
will choose from
people are
these
still
garments.
alive.
Black, black, or black?
We do not like garish colors in Nilfgaard. The gentleman will tell me once he has chosen an outfit.
As someone with photosensitivity, I can actually appreciate that aspect of Nilfgaardian culture. I don't like garish or obnoxious colors either. Although before I choose my attire, I'm going to loot the shit out of this place. Because why not? The wonders of Zerrikania. During my travels, I have seen countless extraordinary places. The primeval wilds of Brokilon, with trees so high their tips disappear in the clouds. Dwarven chambers carved into the guts of the Mahakaman Mountains, with walls stained in pure gold or plated in pure gold. The ice palette of Pont Vanis, adorned with stained frost windows. Yet none of these made such an impression on me as the rightly famed Zerrikania. While I was traversing on the fiery mountains, I feared disappointment awaited me on the other side. I had heard many a fantastic tale about Zerrikania, about its trackless sands, burnt white by the sun, its golden-scaled dragons weaving their nests amidst the dunes, its hunchbacked horses, able to survive weeks without even a swallow of water. Yet none seemed to me at all plausible. I was sure these sensations were but figments of some bard's overactive imagination. I know this will be as hard for you to believe, dear reader, as it once was for me. But of all the unbelievable tales are true. Not only that, during my many months of travel, I came across wonders far surpassing those any prior travelogues mentioned. I saw temples dedicated to the worship of dragons. I heard their voice, almost human, but reverberating with 1,000 echoes. I met warrior maids clad in leopard skins, tattooed from head to foot, giving no ground to Witcher's mastery in the blade. I saw mages who channeled the power from fire. I saw seemingly harmless flies whose solitary bite would make a man fall into a deep slumber, never awake save to die. In short, Zerrikania is a land where the fantastic is normal, and the impossible occurs daily. I think Zerrikania is the Witcher's version of either North Africa or Arabia. Because keep in mind, the Witcher's world is fantasy Poland. So they would have known about the Arabian, the Levant, Anatolia, and North Africa. But it'd be kind of a far-off place that they wouldn't exactly know. Except through tales. Alright. And then letters with Yennefer's instructions. I had a feeling we wouldn't have a chance to talk before Vizima, so I leave you this message. I know there's much we both wish to say, but there will become such a time for that later. In any case, a letter is no place to broach topics of such importance to us both. So why write to you now? You have something waiting for you at the Royal Palace in Vizima. Consider it a gift from Emir and myself. You can pick it up at your leisure after your audience with him. When you exit the throne room, simply follow the covered walkway into the courtyard, turning right at the corner. Then take the first door on your left. You'll be inside a chamber with a fireplace. Take the door in the back right to the adjoining room. There under the window you'll find the chest with your gift. But in case those directions prove too complicated for you, I'm certain the Chamberlain would not hesitate to lead you there himself. Expert tracker that you are, however, I expect you'll manage. Your friend, Yennefer.
What do you mean? Directly out of Nordling Tales? Inconceivable.
Well, let me talk to the barber. Fine. Chronicles of Redania. Vindrick the Elf. Despite one might conclude from his moniker, not one drop of elven blood flowed in King Vridank's veins. They call him the Elf because of his exceptional beauty, and for the great admiration he felt for the Ain Seti. This assassination, seemingly harmless, would have horrible long-term consequences. King Vridank, spitting in the face of all laws and customs, chose as his wife a half-elf, and one of low status known as Beatrix of Kavir. The fruit of this regrettable and short-lived mésalliance was Falka, who later fomented bloody revolt against her own father. Though this uprising was ultimately extinguished and Falka herself burned at the stake, the unstake state was thereafter thrown into chaos for years to come.
What do you mean? Directly out of Northern Tales.
The opposition of Nilfgaard. While Nilfgaard's emperor wields absolute power, harshly crushing the slightest sign of disobedience, opposing forces continue to exist within the empire. By this I do not mean the disgruntled leaders of conquered provinces, but the magnates within the city of 1,000 towers who are unhappy with the current leadership. This conflict between the emperor and the noble house of Nilfgaard of the capital dates back many years. All the princes of the blood and magnates are expected their ruler to wed of their daughters and sire an heir with one of their own. The emperor, however, had other plans. This proved a slap in the face for all the great families from which he refused to take a bride. The Nilfgaardian opposition this patiently waits for the emperor to slip up, for some event to occur which will weaken his authority, be it an economic crisis or defeat in battle. A secret conspiracy lies ready to siege such a moment to incite the disaffected, assassinate the emperor, and carry out a coup d'etat, culminating with one of their own number ascending to the throne. For obvious reasons, only a limited few know this conspiracy, but any shrewd observer of Nilfgaardian politics can read the signs of its workings. So long as men are men and the world is as it is, certain dynamics will forever remain the same, and the discontented will always form subversive societies with their secret signs and hidden agendas. And it's not just Nilfgaard. There's that happening. We will see that happening in Nilfgaard, or not Nilfgaard, but Novigrad, in conquered Temeria, in Skellige, hell, even in Toussaint. It's everywhere. Sword for witches. Who are the hunters, you ask? Folk like you and yours, I reply. The decent kind, hater of lies, doers of good. The kind who live according to the gods' laws and nature's laws too. Those disgusted by the machinations of witches, magicers, and non-humans. All that separates us from the common folk is that we've the courage to take up arms, to defend our lands from evil, and to slice out the gangrene that eats us from within. We haven't a leader, we haven't forts or lands. Though God's fearing Ravidid supports us with his gold at times, we've not sworn him nor any ruler of oath. We serve only the eternal fire, and we listen only to our own conscience. Who can join us? Any who is of right of soul and sound of body. You can find us in every larger city in the north. We will give you board, lodging, and a weapon. We will explain how to spot the telltale signs of evil, birthmarks in strange and arcane shapes, smooth skin on a matron aged more than 30 springs, and black cats kept in the yard, to name but a few. We will show you how to defend yourself from witchcraft, how to tame and snuff out magic elements with dimeridium. We will instruct you how to squeeze the sinner's darkest secrets out of them with hot iron, and how to grant them with cleansing death with the help of sacred fire. So, as the proud owner of 2 void babies, fuck them. Black cats are great. Go to hell. Chamberlain's just like, what the hell is he? Is he taking shit? Gnomish prankings. Scrub the greasings from a dog's ear. Soak into cotton twine. Place in a new lamp of greenish hue, and set said lamp betwixt an eager crowd. Forsooth, they shall swear that a dog's head they behold, and this shall be no sorcery but good bedtidings, or good betidings. For the prince of Elender's nuptials, a paltry gnome armed with a miniature cutlass behid himself in a pie. When the guests partook of the princely banquet, anon jumped out of the besabred gnome, giving a terrible fright to all at first, then causing much merriment once jest was figured. A Cynolepticus or doghead in our tongue, a beast that in the wastes of Zengubar dwells, has the corpus of a man but the head of a dog. The Prince of Elender did receive such a specimen from those far-off lands. The Cynolephalus lets stream its urine with the trolling of every hour, both day and night, and this is why Zengubarians engrave its likeness on timepieces and compasses. That's disgusting. Alright. Kind of partial to this one. Alright.
A touch tight in the waist, but it will do. Does the outfit satisfy the gentleman?
Suppose so.
A studded doublet and a sword on my back, that's what would satisfy me. But tough, when in Nilfgaard.
Yes?
It's a saying. So what now? Powder my nose?
No need. The gentleman's complexion is light enough. The gentleman is to stand before the ruler of the North and South. I must confirm that he knows how to bow.
Confirm away.
Confirm away.
Please watch. Leg extended, hand flat, head down, chin to chest. The gentleman will rehearse.
Okay, left leg forward, right hand on the chest.
Lacking fluidity and grace. But we've learned to expect less of Nordlings. Come with me.
Hey, I got it right.
The gentleman will address the Emperor only when asked to, and using the appropriate title.
Your Arch-Magnificency?
I see the gentleman is in the mood for jests. I fear the Emperor might not share his disposition. Your Majesty will suffice. Spoken loudly, clearly, and with respect. grimi eb art ketzer. Daifen aden in karn eb marvut. Emir var emreis.
Bow.
Alright, fine.
Your Imperial Majesty.
Arer ep the orde.
Welchen Namen, wat gern favort? I thought you bowed before no man.
Didn't want to disappoint the Chamberlain. We're friends.
That's why I did it, just for that line.
Take it you didn't summon me to reminisce about the good old days, so...
Silence. My daughter Cirilla, she's returned. And she's in danger.
She
The
looks so
Wild
happy
Hunt
in that
pursues
picture.
her. You will find her and bring her to me.
Are you sure? Ciri left. Went far, far away.
Do you believe I drag you here in the middle of a war to discuss a rumor?
I think anyone can be wrong, even an emperor.
I had forgotten how insolent you can be. I haven't the time to convince you, nor the desire, in fact. Yennefer will do that after the audience.
Alright.
How many men in your army? 20,000? 30? So why me?
You know why. Because she trusts you.
She trusts me, yes. So tell me why you're looking for her. Doubt it's about making up for all those lost years.
For reasons of state, as always. Enough of this banter. You will agree regardless. If for no other reason than because I shall pay you. More than you customarily receive for a contract. Considerably more.
Save your generosity for those whose homes your armies have razed. I'll do it for Ciri, not for your gold.
Your motives do not interest me. Only results. Yennefer will tell you the rest. This audience is finished. Mererid! Take him to the sorceress.
Alright. I only wish I'd been able to, you know, extinguish his candles and loot his bookshelves.
Me, if the gentleman pleases. Please keep close.
Alright, characters. We got 2 new characters. First, Emir var Emrys. Few names on the continent's history arouse as much terror and respect as that of Emir var Emrys. Daithwin Aden Ginkarn Ip Marvid, the white flame dancing on the grave of his foes. Emperor of Nilfgaard, Lord of Matina, Ebbing, and Gemera, sovereign of Nazair and Vicarvero, he was ruler of half the civilized world and aspiring to conquer the other half. He was a personage whose deeds and decisions shaped the fate of whole kingdoms and populations. What then could he possibly want of a simple witcher? The Emperor clearly and succinctly laid out what he wanted. His daughter in Geralt's ward, Cirilla, was in great danger, for the Wild Hunt was on her trail. Geralt, a superb tracker, linked to Emir's daughter by the iron bonds of destiny, stood a better chance at finding her than anyone else in the world. Morven Voorhis, a commander of the Alba Division, an officer of the highest rank and a pure-blooded aristocrat, one who with pride could call himself an Nilfgaardian, a designation reserved only for the native-born inhabitants of the Empire's capital and its immediate surroundings. At the time of their first meeting, Geralt had no idea what an important person had been assigned to the task of asking him a few routine questions. Knowing the Witcher, however, Knowledge of Morven's rank and status would not have made much of a difference. Hi, Starscream. Welcome to Stram.
Any honorable guests in the palace whom the gentleman...
This character... Cirilla. Okay. So we'll start from the update. Ciri's biography contained one more great secret. Her natural father was none other than the Emperor of Nilfgaard, Emir var Imris. His word confirmed the fears swirling in Geralt's mind. Ciri had returned, and was in mortal danger, for the unrelenting wild hunt was on her tail.
Need not bother.
First thing in the morning, and it's past noon.
Calm yourself.
What? Do you know who you're talking to, soldier? I'm Herivard II, Prince of Elandan. Not only am I made to wait here like some supplicant...
The gentleman will have time for a stroll later. Please stay with me.
Yeah, but I want to loot things.
I demand...
Es sieht efsat. Ep finser nein mathenk. Nein kofhurtel an emf paval.
Es frag. Kiaside.
Duft. Wisse voor atra es paesep. Tete taghein en kalandne se voloi sau. Ep Toussaint.
Mind if I interrupt?
Why not join in instead?
We're discussing neutrality. How difficult it is to preserve.
Know a bit about that.
Know a thing or two about that.
Care to explain?
Never changes. I try to stay out of things, stand aside. Then comes an urgent summons, and an offer I can't refuse. Enough about that. Mind if we change the subject? So, talk to the Emperor.
Why did he summon you?
So not even you know.
No. But I wager it's an ordinary witch's contract.
Mm-hmm. Some werebubs.
Well, if he doesn't know, I'm not going to tell him.
Soon, mind you.
Not in a hurry to see the sorceress?
I am, but I'm gathering intel.
The gentleman will have time for a stroll later. Please stay with me.
Alright, well, we'll have to come back to that. Also, there's a person that we'll be able to play Gwent with here in the courtyard.
Once the gentleman is done, he should see me to retrieve his possessions.
Yes? Then transcribe. The true authority in Novigrad is not the city council or the merchants guild, but the Church of the Eternal Fire and the criminal underworld. At times it is difficult to tell the one from the other. They both display a similar ruthlessness and cynicism that...
Please wait, Your Excellency. I'm falling behind.
You know what? I'll write the report myself. You'll need only prepare a clean draft. In triplicate.
Alright, books. Yes, I've already read that one. Royal lineages of the North. Sierra Fiona Hélène Rhiannon, born in 1251, heiress to the throne of Sintra, Princess of Bruges and Duchess of Soden, heiress to Ines Ardskellig and Ines Onskellig, and suzerain of Atra and Abyara, daughter of Pavetta, see Pavetta Fiona Ellen, and the urchin of Erlenwald, see Emir va Emrys. Granddaughter of the famous lioness of Sintra, Queen Catelyn, see Catelyn Fiona Rhiannon. A shipwreck occurred during a journey from Sintra to Skellige, which took the lives of Urchin and Pavetta. Cyrilla's further upbringing was then entrusted to her grandmother. In 1260, afraid of the looming Nilfgaardian threat, Queen Calanthra sent Cyrilla to the court of King Everil, see Everil of Verdun, where the heiress of Sintra was to marry the heir to the throne of Verdun, Prince Kistrin, see Kistrin of Verdun. Though allying with Verdun and gaining the aid of that realm's army was at the time Catherine's top priority, no marriage ever occurred, and Cyrilla returned to her grandmother's court. In 1262, during the so-called Sintra massacre, Cyrilla went missing. What shall become of Temeria? Temeria, a land where milk and honey once flowed. In what did she wrong the gods that they should treat her so cruelly? The Pearl of the North to some, she proved a galloping range for Nilfgaardian cavalry to others. As a country, it had survived 2 previous wars against the Empire. It was here that the war's bloodiest battles were fought. It was in Temeria where their most bestial deeds were wrought. It was Temerian citizens who bore the full brunt of these war's horrors. And bear them we did, bravely and steadfastly, until the demise of our great protector, King Foltest. Then Providence turned its fickle face from Temeria. Murdered most treacherously, Foltest failed to leave Temeria a worthy successor. And so all manner of cur soon fell upon her, tearing her apart like so much carrion. She had no more allies then. None remembered what we had once that we had once been the armor protecting the North from the designs of the mad dancer. He who had the gravestones of his foes pounded into a ballroom floor. You can still see the white and blue. They haven't been able to fully convert Vizima's palace yet. Why are you looting my room? Because I'm a witcher, that's what we do. Pearls in the north of Novigrad. No one can claim to have traveled the northern realms who has not been to Novigrad. If I were forced to list what, during my many meanderings, have made the greatest impression on me, it would be precisely this great and yet at the same time free city. A metropolis worthy of the Empire, its only flaw is that the civilization Nilfgaard carries within her has not yet enlightened it. That is why hordes of reactionary cultists of the Eternal Fire dwell in the midst of its excellent buildings and superb commercial infrastructure. One feels as though superstition is how the local hierarch and his temple guards cement their power over the city dwellers. And many they are to control, for the city counts no less than 30,000 of inhabitants. While strolling through its fabulous port, surrounded by the marvels of architecture, it is hard to imagine that centuries ago Novigrad was a mere minor elven townstead. When the city fell into the hands of the Nordlings, its problems grew exponentially. For as is well known, the people of the North can do a great many things, but peaceful and orderly cohabitation is not one of them. And so, Novigrad first belonged to Redania, then fell under Temerian rule, and finally, after endless compromises and bargains, it at last became a free city. But is the city truly free? I dare to doubt it. Redanian influence makes itself felt too strongly on every street corner. and the fact that the city is located within Radovid's territory speaks for itself. While wandering the city streets, I came across 4 watermills, 8 banks, and nearly 19 pawn shops. There are also a great many of houses of simple pleasures such as taverns and brothels. And Novigrad's commitment to matters of faith is borne witness by the fact that the city contains no less than, I kid you not, 19 temples to the eternal fire. What more can be said? I think Novigrad has all the makings of the capital of the world, and perhaps that is what it will one day become. First, however, someone needs to bring order to within our walls. So Novigrad, I think, is an allegory to what was once the free city of Danzig in Poland. Between the world wars, Danzig was a port city that used to be Polish, then Prussian, then Russian, then German, and after the convoluted Treaty of Versailles that remade Poland again, Danzig was the free city because political reasons, though it didn't stay free for long. I think currently it is once again Polish. Yeah. Novigrad is going to be an important spot in this game. And even though it is free from the control of nations, its free walls are, as we'll learn, its prison. She has no allies. Okay, we already read that one, so I don't care.
A shame I have no time.
Portrayal of the elder races. What is a non-human? The answer is simple. As the very name suggests, it is something which resembles, and yet nevertheless, is not a human. Though it walks on 2 legs, speaks a tongue similar to our own, and dresses in similar attire, all the same it is more in common with base beast than noble man. Dwarves are like moles. They feel best underground and avoid direct sunlight. They like to live in filth and forever smudging themselves in mud and slime. They love everything that can be found within the earth, rocks, metal, minerals, and all shape and color. It is also said that, like their kindred moles, they feed mostly on worms, roaches, and other night crawlers. Halflings, for their part, are more reminiscent of gophers. Fat and lazy and loud in that typical rodent way. Their minds are filled only with thoughts of food and drink, which they steal from other nobler beasts and greedily squirrel away in their hovels. They are marked by a cruel craftiness. You could be dying of hunger and they would not share a meal with you. You could be howling from poverty and they could be swimming in gold, and yet they would still fleece you to the last crown. You could do nothing but good to them and they would still stab and knife in your back. Elves, in turn, seem to be related to the birds of prey that dwell in far-off Zerrikania. They care most for colored feathers. They would most readily spend all day at their reflections in the water, singing their own praises. They are so awash in self-love that they no longer feel any desire toward members of the opposite sex of their own species. Their appearance, unquestionably pleasant to the eye, is highly misleading, for they are extraordinarily cruel, and any who judge them by looks alone, they first dupe, then kill in cold blood. The best proof of this? The so-called Scoia'tael. Bandits that claim to fight for freedom, but in truth only long to kill humans. And these vile so-called elder races are, to our great fortune, slowly dying out. Joy fills the heart of every right-thinking man at the thought that this that his great-grandchildren will never know them, and that in their day, dwarves, halflings, and elves will be mere fairy tale creatures used to scare young, impressionable children. All right, so the dwarves, halflings, and even elves are just like humans in the fact that there are good people, and then there are downright monsters. That's kind of the whole theme of The Witcher. People are capable of great good and great evil. It's down to an individual basis.
A shame I have no time.
I remind you what Francesca did. Oh, I don't doubt that there was great evil. And most of the elves we do run into typically are on the monster side.
Directly out of Nordling Tales.
But I don't think I've ever run into a dwarf in this game that fits the term of monster. And there are also plenty of humans that are monsters. We just met with one. Emperor Emhyr of our Empress.
Shame I have no time.
There's a lot of mages who are downright monsters. There are also quite a few mages that are upstanding heroes. The important point of this game is everyone has the capability of being a monster, but you have to judge them based on their actions individually, not based on generalities.
A shame I have no time.
Oh. I thought I had to talk to the ambassador. Okay. Oh, wait, that's after I talk to the Yennefer. Okay. Oh, I'm just gonna... Oh, I can't loot. Fair enough.
Geralt, that tunic. You look positively smashing.
Dying to take it off.
I'd consider that a proposition under different circumstances. One I might even take you up on. But we've matters to attend to. Now do you understand why I'm at Emhyr's court?
Uh-huh. And seems we're in the same boat now. Ciri, she's really back? No chance he's mistaken?
Look, that's more or less what she looks like now. Or so our agents claim. Our little witch has grown into a young lady.
How about that? She's grown up?
It's been years since you trained together at Kaer Morhen. A great deal has changed.
You haven't? Not a bit?
I missed those awkward compliments of yours. But let's focus on Ciri, all right?
Right. Emhyr said the Wild Hunt's after her. I'd find that hard to believe before what happened yesterday. How did they track us down?
Because of me. You see, I've spent months searching for Ciri, using locating spells, haruspicy, geomancy, anything, really. I knew the Wild Hunt might sense it, perhaps even find me, but I thought I'd tricked them.
Well, guess you were wrong.
I've sensed them on my trail, hunting me, for some time. If not for you and Emhyr's soldiers, they'd have gotten what they were after. I can't risk another encounter like that. It's time to put away the magic, turn to more traditional methods. To the best tracker I know. You must find her, Geralt. Before the Wild Hunt does.
What's the Wild Hunt want from Ciri?
The Wild Hunt? What could it want from Ciri?
I've no clue, Geralt. Might have written them to ask, but I don't have their address. I know as much as you do. It must be about her blood. Her gift. As for what the Hunt wishes to do with that gift, I'd prefer not to think about it, really.
So where's Ciri been seen, exactly?
In two places. Velen and Novigrad. The trail in Velen is most promising. You should make that your first stop. Ask for a merchant named Hendrik at the inn at the crossroads. One of the Emperor's agents. He should get in touch with you.
That's it? No passwords? Secret handshakes?
None. Sorry to spoil your fun. Your boyhood fantasies about the crafts of the trade. All we have in Novigrad are unconfirmed reports, rumors. But there you will have the help of our mutual acquaintance. Triss Merigold. Apparently she's got a cozy flat on the main square.
Sure she'll be delighted to see me. What about you? What will you do?
I shall sail for Skellige. There was a magic explosion there recently, blew half a forest down. I believe this had something to do with Ciri. I'll be in Caer Trolde. Join me there once you've learned something.
One thing before we go. Why didn't you contact me? Didn't need me? Didn't even want to see me?
I didn't want to spoil things. I'd heard you and Triss made a great couple.
Yen, I'd lost my memory.
Really? That's your excuse?
Now, while I've not
Drop it,
played
all right?
the
It's
second
not what you
game,
think, or it helped me understand how much I love you. I don't wish to hear it. Any of it.
now, like I said, I never played any other games except for this one. I have not really read any of the books. But one thing I do know is that Geralt actually did have legitimate amnesia. So, yeah, he didn't remember. And I think it was like a curse or something that once broke, and he's like, oh shit. Oh shit. So, for Yen to kind of mock it as, oh really, that's your excuse? Without even giving Geralt the benefit of the doubt. It's kind of a dick move.
Guess this means we need to split up again. Not my preference, but I understand. Clock's ticking.
It is indeed. So why don't I teleport you to Velen, get you there at once?
Oh, hell no.
Not gonna happen. I'll go on horseback, as soon as I can get changed.
Have it your way? Oh, and you really look quite dashing in black velvet.
Think so? Maybe I can have some of my armor lined with it. Good luck, Yen.
Same to you. And if you wish to learn what's happened in the world while you and Vesemir roamed the wilderness, talk to Ambassador Varatra. That's him over there. And Geralt, I know it's wartime, but try not to be a hero, all right? Just check those leads and come back to me, in one piece.
You're telling me to not do side quests in an RPG? Yeah, that's not going to happen. Do you have to... You know how hard it's going to be for me to pick up all those? That's it, yeah. Don't worry. I'm going to be spending most of that ad time just looting around. Because there's a lot of stuff to loot. Alright, Hendrik. Considering the way Spy Corps of all stripes tend to function, Hendrik was undoubtedly not this man's real name. Nevertheless, that was the only appellation the Witcher knew, for his Imperial Majesty's nose to the ground in Velen. After asking around, Geralt learned that Hendrik lived in the village of Hatherton. Triss Merigold. I always considered it a point of particular pride to count Triss Marigold of Maribor among my closest and dearest friends. This exceptionally talented sorceress was a shining star of her profession, and the former mage advisor to King Foltest, and the famous hero of the Battle of Sodden, known as the 14th of the Hill. Yet in no way did she resemble her often unbearably haughty sisters in magic. Her deft mind, warm smile, and considerable personal charm had always won over even the hardest of hearts. Though my personal relations with Triss never ventured beyond the fraternal, Geralt of Rivia at one point found her allure irresistible. From then on, the two shared feelings that ran far deeper than a superficial and fleeting fancy. Yennefer told Geralt that Triss had recently taken up residence in the free city of Novigrad. Also, in my first playthrough of The Witcher, between the two sorceresses that you could romance, I went with Triss. For obvious reasons. She's a redhead. She's also a fire mage. Redhead plus fire. Two of my weaknesses right there. And her personality I liked a lot more than Yennefer's. I get why Yennefer's personality is the way it is. She's a mama bear desperately searching for her cub. I get it. But we're going to see her commit some things that in my first playthrough kind of pushed me away from Yen. Now, for those of you who voted for the romance of Yen, don't worry. We're going to romance Yen in this playthrough. Democracy had spoken loud and clear, so Yen will be our romance option. That said, me personally, I prefer Triss. Hello, Kira on YouTube. First playthrough. No, this is not. This is like my fifth. It is a fresh playthrough, though. So it's not New Game Plus. But I've played through it like 4 or 5 times. So I know a lot of what's going to happen. But welcome to stream. Let's see here. We also had an update on Cirilla. Yennefer made it clear why the Wild Hunt wanted Ciri. Excuse me. Eredin wanted the power latent in her elder blood. She also let Geralt know that Ciri had been seen in war-ravaged Velen, as well as in Novigrad, the largest city in the world. Alright. She Who Knows. Folks say there were 4 at first. The mother, She Who Knows, the Lady of the Wood, came from a faraway land, and since she suffered terribly from loneliness, she made 3 daughters out of dirt and water. A long, long time ago, the mother was the sole ruler of all Velen. Her daughters brought her the people's requests and served as her voice. Each spring, sacrifices of grain, animals, and men were made to the Lady of the Wood on her special night. Yet as the years passed, the Lady of the Wood slipped deeper and deeper into madness. Her madness eventually spread on the land. Men took to adorning their homes and setting out into the bog, where they became food for beasts. Or, not adorning their homes, abandoning their homes. Before long, Velen was drowning in blood. The daughters saw their lands nearing destruction and took it upon themselves to save it. When spring came once more, and with it the night of sacrifices, they killed their mother and buried her in the bog. Her blood watered the oak atop Ard Kerbin, and from then on the tree grew wholesome and hearty fruit for the people. As for the lady's immortal soul, it refused to leave its beloved land, and so the sisters imprisoned it. To this day it lays trapped beneath the whispering hillock, where it thrashes about in powerless rage. That may or may not come up later on. Already got that. The Wild Hunt. That might be important. From farmers and herdsmen, milkmaids to midwives, all the common folk of the continent whisper, sharing tales of a wraithly procession pounding across the sky. The Wild Hunt, they call it. Winds and gales, storms and blizzards arise when it is sighted, and all grows cold, though the sun shone bright moments before. Some remember only the cold from the shock of the encounter, and claim that the riders always come in winter. But nay, this is not so. The hunt brings its own ice. Death and war gallop in its wake, or so the superstition goes. Yet evil enough is the hunt itself. It takes folks captive, youths most often, in the prime of their wilding years, with 10 to 20 summers behind them. The hunt rushes in and they disappear, only to return long years later with no memory of what passed in the time between. And there's Ciri.
Scars healed nicely.
Duped. Better Yennefer. Let's see here. Who's still okay? Yennefer, my dear friend, thank you for your letter. Forgive me for not answering your earlier attempt to reach me via Megascope. I am trying to limit my magic communication to the absolute minimum. One never knows who's listening. Don't you agree? I am delighted you have found a position at our gracious Emperor's court, and wish you the best of luck in his search for his daughter. It is good to know that Emir's intentions for her have become more, how shall I put it, mundane. Perhaps in these circumstances an agreement regarding the lodge will prove possible after all. In response to your first question, I can state beyond all doubt that Ciri has not appeared anywhere south of the Yaruga. Believe me, I could recognize her magic signature in my sleep. I have not had any contact with Triss for a long time. I only know that things in Novigrad had taken an ill turn. She mentioned something earlier about fleeing to Kovir, but I am afraid that in the current political climate that amounts to an impossible daydream. I hope I will soon be able to join you in Vizima. First, however, I must take care of some unfortunate yet urgent matters in Beauclair. With my fondest regards, Fringilla Vigo. P.S. Thank you for the news about Geralt. He always seems to land on his feet, doesn't he? Yeah, Fringilla Vigo is another sorcerer that sided with Nilfgaard relatively early on. The collected verse of Gonzalo de Vicero. Love. To love is to build a house of cards or play a game of chess, but one wrong word or ill-thought move, and you must start it all afresh. Tide. Whenever I watch the tide recede, cold coils of fear grip around my heart. Will the sea sneak back, calm and sure, in the dark of night as they have before? Or will they stay on distant shores, leaving crushed shells and washed-up dreams, as memory of serfs of yore? Okay. The last wish. Human life requires 3 things for its sustenance: food, drink, and gossip. It is no wonder that no matter where I travel, be it Icebound or Povis, or the evergreen Toussaint, everyone asks me about the passions that bind Geralt and the sorceress Yennefer of Vengerberg. As a man, both cautious and discreet, I refuse to betray their secrets, with one important exception. The history of their first encounter is so extraordinary, so romantic and moving, that it'd be a veritable crime not to hide its light beneath a bushel basket. Indeed, had I not witnessed these events in person, I would never have believed there was room in our grim and dark world for such fantastic marvels. It all began when Geralt and I were feeling a bit peckish and unburdened by heavy coin pouches, and decided to fish our supper out of a lake. No bites were to be had, but we did not leave empty-handed, as my hook snagged quite a lovely little pot. Oblivious to my friend's warning, I opened it, and in doing so freed a powerful djinn. Without giving it much thought, I set about proclaiming my wishes. Before I could get to 3, however, the djinn, irritated, I see now in hindsight, at being issued demands so soon after waking, began to throttle me. Geralt was able to drive him off, but I was left in a sorry state. I acted, the Witcher told me later, as though under the influence of some curse. Clearly, the help of an expert in the magic arcana would be needed. It was our good fortune that Yennefer of Vengerberg happened to be staying in a nearby village. Geralt went to her and asked her to ask that she heal his best friend, who happened to be the brightest star in the North's poetic firmament. Yennefer, however, was more interested in the djinn, which she wanted to trap into magic servitude, than its victim. And, it should be said, played the Witcher like a well-strung mandolin. Yet rather than grow angry at being used in such a calculating manner, he fell white head over muddy boots in love with her. What happened then, well, I won't go into details. Suffice to say that Yennefer's plans hardly delighted the djinn, and without its cooperation she proved unable to tame it. The sorceress surely would have met a tragic end, and taken all of Rinde along with her, had Geralt not rushed to her rescue. For once, he did not need to draw either of his blades to send the djinn packing. He had to but pronounce the third and final wish. He could have asked for anything: wealth, fame, power. But instead he asked the djinn to bind his fate to that of the arrogant yet intriguing sorceress from Vengerberg. Julian Alfred Pankratz, Viscount of Lidenhove, born 1232, award-winning poet, playwright, and troubadour. Frequent performer at the courts of Niedamar, Venislav, and many other nobles and notables. Alumnus of Oxenfurt Academy. Yeah, so what's currently binding us to Yen is that wish, which will come up. Holy balls. My dear friend, if you're reading this, it means you found the chest I mentioned in my previous letter. You'll be pleased to know its contents belong to you. After I spoke to the Emperor regarding additional resources to aid in your quest, he was willing to part with these items from his personal collection. The armor from Dol Blanco is a rare piece that marries the strength of the Nilfgaardian and elven craftsmanship. Apparently, Francesca accepted Nimir's offer of Nilfgaardian plate for her forces. Though despite his attempt to significantly bolster an ally on the fringes of the Northern Realms, only a portion of his aid ever reached its destination. To no one's great surprise, the elves were unimpressed with what human steel they did receive, and thus refashioned the armor to their liking. You'll finally have the opportunity to masquerade as the Queen of Dol Blanco's personal guard. It's a dream I know you speak of often. As for the second set of armor, the Emperor proved far more cryptic. He claims they are diplomatic gifts to distant kingdoms. The tiger armor is specifically designed to suit a Western ruler, obviously Emir in this case. It was forged in the ancient style of blacksmith who stole the secrets of its construction from the gods, or so the legend goes. And finally, the swords. To my eye, they resemble a Redanian saber, though I'm no expert. These blades supposedly belong to a hero of myth and mystery. The man forged a pact with the Vixen spirit, and through her blessing was granted the ability to slay monsters that had long plagued his village. As you can see, he carried both a steel and silver sword, a fact I thought might pique your interest. Unfortunately, legends are all I can offer. Emir was stingy with the details, even more so than usual. It's a shame, because I must admit I haven't the faintest idea where they might originate. That said, I do believe Zerrikania and Ophir can be ruled out. Dear friend, I trust you appreciate my efforts to help. Use these gifts as you see fit. I hope they hasten your search for that which we have lost. Your friend, Yennefer. Well, let's... Okay, I can't actually look at him yet. God damn it. Alright.
Vedimi, directly out of Nord.
Ambassador Varatra, Yennefer suggested I ask you about current events, the war and so on.
Of course. The Emperor's servants should keep no secrets from each other. If you will, let us approach the map.
I ain't the Emperor's servant.
How's the war going? I mean, apart from the fact that Nilfgaard's triumph is imminent.
I assume this to be a private conversation. We've no witnesses, so let's dispense with the propaganda, even that shrouded in irony. Our offensive was going splendidly until winter came. Edirn was in such disarray that we encountered no resistance. We had reached the Pontar before the first snows. Only a weakened Kedwen remained, and Radovid's Redania, which had ignored the rest of the North's pleas for help. We thought they'd sue for peace, perhaps even submit to vassalization. We waited for spring, certain of victory.
Radovid? Submit?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, a vain hope, I agree. Radovid sent no peace envoys, nor did he advance on our positions. Instead, he trudged over the snow-bound Kestrel Mountains and attacked Kedwen, his ally. This attack took the Kedweni by surprise. They were still mourning the loss of their king. Rudderless and dejected, they laid down their arms after a few lost skirmishes and joined Radovid. And so by spring, instead of two weak enemies, we had only one powerful one.
What about Kavir?
What about Kavir?
Kavir values its neutrality, enough not to lend its armies, or more importantly, even its coin to either side. Returning to the war, this spring there was a massive battle in the marshes of Velen. Massive, yet indecisive. Both sides suffered enormous losses, unprecedented even. Radovid has retreated across the Pontar. He's safe for now, until reinforcements arrive from the south. Then Emperor Emir Var Emrys will deal with him once and for all.
Couldn't you just go home? Save everyone a lot of marching, not to mention a few human lives.
I'm afraid the stakes are too high to fold now. We can only go all in.
Alright, what's the situation in Velen?
How do things look in Velen?
As bad as ever, perhaps worse. This land never flowed with milk and honey, and now it flows with blood. Armies have swept through it several times, trampling fields, looting granaries, burning villages. Famine grips the populace.
So how's ruling that earthly paradise going for you?
Not well, to be honest. Our forces are spread thin as it is, and Velen is chiefly swampy forests that are difficult to control. We've had several patrols never return to their camps. Thus, we've temporarily delegated authority in this region to a certain Nordling, a former low-ranking officer in the Temerian army, one Philip Strenger, better known by his nom de guerre, the Bloody Baron. I advise you well. Avoid him.
That's gonna be impossible. Oh, speaking of Velen, there was a YouTube video that I watched recently describing the hydrology of the map of Velen and why it's such a shithole. Well, he came to the conclusion and had a lot of evidence that it's a drowned estuary, where the salt water of the sea here is flowing back into the Pontar, which is killing the land. Which is why life in Velen fucking sucks.
Any news from Novigrad? Is the free city still free?
I can see if I can link it.
Although everyone knows this won't last. Radovid is in Oxenfurt, and the Emperor is here in Vizima, at Novigrad's doorstep, both. And both require coin and ships. Novigrad can provide these. Which is why the mood in the city is rather, well, on edge.
Meaning?
How do men deal with fear? They seek reassurance and scapegoats. The Church of the Eternal Fire understands this perfectly, and so it promises to improve the lives of its flock by pointing out the guilty. Who started the war? Who profits from it? Why, it's obvious. Mages, elves, dwarves, in a word, any and all deviants. I've been stationed in Novigrad for 13 years. First as a consul, then as ambassador. I've seen a great deal. Cruelty, cynicism, greed. But what is happening there now concerns me greatly.
Alright. And Skellige.
What's new in Skellige?
Nothing. The islanders pride themselves on that, don't they? Doing everything according to tradition, as their forefathers did. And like their forefathers, they quarrel with each other, pillage, occasionally attack our transports. This is cumbersome, but nothing more. Skellige has always been a footnote to history, and so it shall remain.
Sound awfully confident. What if King Bran manages to unite the Jarls? Lead all the clans against your fleet?
King Bran is a feeble old man. From what I know, he barely remembers the names of his own vassals. Uniting all might prove difficult.
Yeah, we're going to get the opportunity to get very involved with the politics of Skellige. So, basically, in Velen here, which is the northern part of Temeria, we're going to be dealing with the Bloody Baron and the Lady of the Woods that we read about in that book. Not a whole lot of long-term political ramifications there, because it's a fucking swamp. But it's basically meant to be the beginner Act 1, so to speak. Novigrad, I think, is supposed to be Act 2. That one, we do get involved in the local politics, and in fact, through its mini side quests, we can actually determine the fate of Temeria. Whether it will be part of Radovid's crown, whether it will just be forgotten to history, or whether it will be restored as a vassal state under Nilfgaardian authority. It all depends upon our choices. And then in Skellige, there's gonna be a bit of a coronation crisis. Because, well, you know how King Bran is feeble? Yeah, about that. By the time we get to Skellige, he dead. So we get to decide who gets to succeed him, or influence who succeeds him. And that will determine the fate of Skellige. But Skellige is supposed to be the last place you visit, we're actually going to make that second because it deals with Yennefer. And after we complete the Skellige arc, we can either refuse or lock in the Yennefer romance. Because technically, the game kind of considers us involved with Yennefer because of the Last Wish. So we can either call it off completely or lock in. That way, when we finally do go to Novigrad, the game won't try and trip us up and get us involved with both Triss and Yen at the same time. That would be bad. So, that's why we're doing it. Because I would since Democracy chose to side with Yen, we're going to lock in with Yen in Skellige, and then go to Novigrad.
Thanks for your help.
Think nothing of it. May the great sun light your path.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Sorry.
How might I serve the gentleman?
By returning my things.
Thank you.
Citrus and cloves. The fragrance will keep the gentleman's robes fresh somewhat longer.
Thanks, bunches.
The Emperor is not known for his patience. He wants his daughter back safe and sound, as soon as possible.
Yeah, mentioned something of the sort. So long.
All right. Hey, that requires level 11, level 11, level 11. Can I at least see what it looks like? Okay, armor of 1,000 flowers. Preview. Actually, that's not bad looking. Okay. All right, let's put on our armor. All right. And as for bombs, let's do some. Alright, alchemy. I can make a potion. I can make Maribor Forest, or Maribor Forest. Accelerates the generation of adrenaline points. Dwarven Spirit. Okay, well, whatever. Alright, but before we head out...
The Emperor shall guide us straight to Novigrad.
There are a couple things that we need to hear. Oh, hello.
see you.
Gwent, play me. To place a bet, choose the amount. The amount will be out of the pot. If you win, you will get back twice as much. Let's go ahead and do 10.
Wouldn't mind a few rounds of cards.
All right. All right, so we got 3 of those. 3 of those. These are going to be our power units. That's good. We only have 1 of those, but we're going to have to find more. Can't wait to find the cheaper spies. Okay, I think... that's good. And what decoy does is allows us to steal another person's card, I think, or something. Alright. Let's start the game. Alright. We have 2 of those. 1 of that. All 3 of my blue stripes. Nice. Okay, so since we only have 1 of those... Actually, let's get rid of Sheldon. Oh, good, we got a spy. And we'll get rid of these guys. For our other one. That's nice. That's great. Okay. Okay. We're gonna place a spy there. Oh good, more artillery. Okay, use his leader card. That's great. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. Because I'm gonna try and bleed him. Oh. Got a spy. Okay. Well. I'll just put that there. So I'm going to try and make him waste some cards. Put 1 more artillery on. How am I still winning? That. All right, screw it. Oh no, biting frost. There we go. All right, I'm going to pass. So either he passes and gives me the win, or he bleeds himself to death trying to win. All right. I get another card. Okay, what does the decoy do? Okay. There you go. Spy time. Oh, why thank you. Thank you for giving me my spy back. Your opponent has passed. You know what? I'm gonna pass too, because I can afford it. Oh no! I lost. You have one card, go. Impenetrable fog. Well, that's a shame. Because, my leader card says, fuck your weather. Now let's put on Vess. Kira Metz. A Trebuchet. Catapult. Siege Expert. Oh, that makes my artillery better. Another Siege Expert, which makes my artillery better. And another Artillery Expert.
Civilization ends at this camp's boundary.
And I received a new item, full test. Another full test leader, okay. Change leaders. So we have the Siege Master. Doubles the strength of all your siege units. Unless Commander Sworn is also present in that row. Well, I'm going to keep this one. Now. There was that secret passage. There it is. Enhanced saddle, old leather. Or old letter. Dear Sir Roderick DeWitt, please forgive me my tardy response. I was waiting for Golan Vivaldi to confirm sufficient funds were available to redeem the bill of exchange you provided. Not that I don't trust you, but the gods help those who help themselves, as the Kidwani saying goes. Getting straight to your question, Princess Ada's curse could only be cause to return. Or could indeed be cause to return. The Witcher from Rivia had only rudimentary knowledge of magic arcana and was not able to fully remove the spell, and instead only temporarily disrupted its workings. For Ada to become a Striga once more, one would have to sprinkle her food with 3 drops of blood from her father, King Foltest, 3 drops of blood from a wolf, and 3 drops of bile from a freshly buried woman. One who died having finished 100 years, but not yet having started her 101st. Then one must cast the intercepted triangle over the meal thus prepared. That should do the trick, yet please consider carefully whether you truly wish to carry out such an ignoble deed. Happy doing business with you in the future. Alessandra Dravel. Well, that seemed downright mean. Okay, enhanced saddle. Already got enhanced saddle. All right, well, I think that's all for us to do here. But there's things we can loot here, probably. He said stop staring, not stop looting. Yeah, what these poor saps are doing is they're taking out the old stained glass that looked, or that's celebrated Temerian culture, and are instead, they're gonna put it as Nilfgaardian shit. It's probably why they don't mind me stealing everything. Because technically, it's Temerian trash that needs to be gotten rid of in the first place. Gesundheit.
Heard of the Vryheid Brigade? Your kind, sir. Not humans.
I'd say this guy's a non-human because he's floating in midair. Okay. Is there anything down here? Locked. Damn it. Okay. Gesundheit. I find it funny just how casually these guys are not attacking me for stealing everything under their noses. Okay, the Royal Palace in Vizima. Let's... Okay, the world map. So, White Orchard was where the prologue was. Toussaint is where Blood and Wine are. A vassal duchy of Nilfgaard, widely considered beautiful, fable-like land where everyone is eternally tipsy. It's France! Then we've got Novigrad. Once part of Redania, Novigrad now has the status of a free city. It is the world's largest city, and without a doubt the richest as well. Cradle of the cult of eternal fire, it is now home to the church of the same name. It is ruled officially by the head of the church, referred to as the Hierarch, though its underworld crime bosses also have a great deal of say in. Suggested level 10. The Skellige Isles. The Skellige Archipelago is home to fierce warrior sailors, whom Continentals regard as pirates, and not without reason. For the isles are barren, and their inhabitants' livelihood comes from mainly plundering the seas. The land on these 5 large isles is divided between its clans, the heads of which are called Jarls. Kaer Morhen, meaning Keeper of the Sea of Yore, is home to a school of witchers. Years ago, the keep was destroyed and its inhabitants murdered during a massive pogrom. Currently, only a handful of witchers winter here before setting out again on the path. And this is where Kovir is. I don't know about others. But all this area north of the Pontar is Redania. Down here is Temeria, which is now Nilfgaard. And then Velen, no man's land. A former Temerian province of Velen has become a war-ravaged no man's land. Suggested level 5. Alright, Velen is extremely large. Now, here is the Pontar. And then its main flow cuts up through here. And then it flows this way. And out this way and this is Novigrad right here. This is Oxenfurt. But as you can see, this part here of Velen, there's a lot of overflow. And quite a lot of it probably came from the sea, as it just kind of drenched everywhere. But this is Crookback Bog. Here's a bunch of little villages. And there's this little island here. We got this little island. This is where the Bloody Baron is set up. And there's a bunch of other places that we're going to head to. But our arrival will be met here.
Geralt and Yennefer would be united, but something even more important happened in Vizima. Geralt learned that Cirilla, his one-time ward, had returned from afar, and she was in danger. He was to find her at the Emperor's command and Yennefer's behest.
Velen, northern Temeria, 5 days later. Hello, Floof. Just got done with work. Nice. Well, we're just about ready to call it for today. You're gonna call it finished. So the quests we've got the Nilfgaardian connection. Go to the end of the crossroads. We're not gonna do that for a while. Secondary quests. But this is a good point to stop. Game says no.
Slow now.
But tomorrow will be Baldur's Gate 3. We're going to be doing the Goblin Camp stuff. Monday we will be doing Final Fantasy 9. Wednesday, Horizon Zero Dawn and Ace Combat 4. Thursday will actually probably be the finale for Ace Combat X's showcase. Friday, more Dragon Age Awakening and Batman Arkham Knight. The next Saturday, in The Witcher, it wants us to go here. Or, no, it wants us to go here, but we're going to spend some time on this island. Just taking care of all the little side quests, little things we can do, all on this island. Then we'll probably move over here and take care of this island. Then we'll move down in here. Then we'll move our way over here. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. I hope you had fun. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Likely later in the afternoon. Because I've got a birthday lunch with Mama and Bro Raz tomorrow. So, have a good rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.